Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Monday, March 10th. I am Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister here at Sunshine Cathedral and Auxiliary Bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current President of the Divine Science Federation. With me today is the Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell and the Reverend Kevin Tisdall, both of whom minister with me at Sunshine Cathedral. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be part of it no matter where you live in the world. Watch our streaming programs, ask for prayer, make donations, and also follow us on social media. We'd love to have you as part of the Sunshine Cathedral community, regardless of your location. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We will produce the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th, Pride Fete Diversity Pride in August, and now the near 50th anniversary of Pride Fort Lauderdale in February. We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. The Queer God Squad is unique in that we apply critical thought to religion while still embracing what is good about religion, and all in support of the LGBTQIAA+ community. If you enjoy the Queer God Squad, help us reach more people by sharing this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. There's another threat to the LGBTQ communities. Advocates raise alarm. According to Gayety, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has updated its intelligence policy, removing restrictions that previously prohibited staff from gathering intelligence on individuals or groups based solely on their LGBTQ+ status. The revision has raised concerns, particularly among LGBTQ+ advocates, who argue that this change may allow for targeted surveillance based on sexual orientation or gender identity. DHS is now headed by Kristi Noem, a vocal opponent of LGBTQ rights. The new policy by the DHS is seen by many as part of a broader trend of reducing protections for LGBTQ+ individuals under the Trump administration and its appointees. Critics fear that this will lead to further surveillance and harassment of LGBTQ+ people who already face significant challenges in many parts of the U.S. You think? I don't understand this administration's hell-bent desire to eliminate an entire community. I say that with a little bit tongue-in-cheek because they need a boogeyman. Mm-hmm. And that's it. They have determined, it looks like, the trans community especially, mm-hmm. and the rest of the LGBTQ+ community intentionally are being targeted by the government because I think they perceive us as being the weakest out there, the group that can less defend itself. And they forget. Yeah. They forget at their peril that this community grew up on challenging the status quo. We grew up in so many different ways in saying, no, you're not going to do this to us. It happened we learned recently in San Francisco in 1966. It happened the Compton Diner. It happened at Stonewall. It happened when the Metropolitan Community Church was developed and started in 1968, and then 69, the Stonewall. The fellowship was founded by a defrocked Pentecostal preacher who basically told the world, we ain't going nowhere. Yeah. We are just not going to disappear. And people are beginning, I think, to understand that this targeted attack on the LGBTQ+ community is just the beginning of what I believe this administration has in store for the rest of us. They want as quickly, and it's happening just boom. They quickly want to destroy the Constitution so that they can do anything they want. A couple of Fridays ago, the president and his lackey, the vice president, met in the Oval Office with every possible media, and for a short time, Russian media was there until somebody said, hey, and oh no, that's a mistake, please get him out of there. But they met and they berated.
The AP couldn't be in there, but Russia
could be in there. And they berated this hero who is fighting for his country. Ukraine is fighting for its survival, and the president and his lackey decided that this was a good time to dress him down because of the way he dressed, and also because he didn't know how to say thank you. This is what we're doing. This is what this government is doing. And again, bringing it back to the conversation.
Elon Musk walks into the Oval Office in a ball cap.
Thank you. Thank you. And his child comes and goes, you're in my daddy's seat. But that's okay. LGBTQ plus individuals have to know that they are not alone. And this church, these LGBTQ plus folk, are going to make sure that you know that we are your allies, that we are going to be your voice. And if necessary, I think you may have written it earlier, we're going to be your shield. We will block for you. So don't think that you're alone. Don't think that you have to do this alone. Know that Sunshine Cathedral will always be there fighting for your rights to ensure that you get to be who you are. You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
All right.
This is a really good time to have various legal advocacy organizations on speed dial. Just have it in your phone. The American Civil Liberties Union, GLAD, HRC, Human Rights Watch, we should, Lambda Legal, we should just have those ready to text or to punch in a moment's notice, because, Shakespeare said, kill all the lawyers, but not now, because we need them. We need them. So they're our last line of defense, because you can't change the Constitution by executive order.
No.
And so,
do it.
and it's an onerous process to change it, which is why we don't have an Equal Rights Amendment to this day. So it's an onerous process to change it. You can't change, one person can't change it by decree. So as long as there's a Constitution, there's always hope. But we have to know it. We have to rely on it. We have to have people who can argue it. If you're finishing up undergrad and want to know what to do next, law school might be
Constitutional law.
Yeah, constitutional law might be the best service you can do for your country. So be aware of that. And also, of course, they are going after trans people. Trans people threaten the order of dominance. Trans people, where there's only two genders, and men and women, and men are obviously entitled to more of whatever, and trans people come and fuck up that whole narrative, and which means it threatens people who benefit from the narrative.
Yeah.
And so, of course, they need to get that out of the way. Then next, of course, are same-gender loving people, because that also threatens the way of, it's Papa and Mommy and the kids, and and the oldest son gets all the stuff, and that's the pecking order. Here comes gay people saying we figure out our own families, we figure out our own arrangements, we make commitments and honor them. Because we chose to, not because there's something that says how it has to be. So yeah, first the trans, then all the queer people, and then also white supremacy is being threatened, which is why all of this xenophobia, all of this people being targeted to get out of the country, are being targeted for harassment, for abuse, for arrest. Why things like DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
We have determined that we're going to say the whole thing every time we say it.
Because they use DEI the way people in the 70s, 60s, and 70s use the N-word, and we're not going to support that in any way. So they're threatened by diversity, which how is that not a good thing? I mean, I remember growing up hearing about America's melting pot. Well, you can only have that with diversity.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Carter came along and said, it's not a pot, it's a salad, where everything keeps its individual integrity, but you still one delicious thing. That was brilliant. But that's our founding narrative. That's who we are. So how do you oppose diversity or inclusion? This says everyone's invited, everyone's welcome at the table, not just the person who built the table. Everyone is welcome at the table. And then equity just means fairness. You don't get to be a good person and oppose diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so, but all of that threatens the dominance of white supremacy and male supremacy, and Christian privilege.
Yeah.
And economic privilege for the billionaire class. And that people struggling to make ends meet defend the billionaire class because they still believed after a 40-year lie that if they just get rich enough, finally their scraps are going to be so amazing that just getting their scraps are going to benefit us. If it ain't happened in almost half a century, y'all, give it the fuck up. It's not happening. It doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way. And so, yeah, this is an attack on liberty. This is an attack on free speech. This is an attack on diversity. This is an attack on justice. And so, yes, they're starting with what they believe are the most vulnerable. But they actually took something that I thought was guaranteed for life. Freedom of choice for women, freedom, and they took that down. And that's when I knew, oh, there's nothing safe.
There's nothing.
There's nothing safe.
Yep.
So I can't promise that we'll win the fight, but I can promise we will hate ourselves if we don't put up the fight.
That's right.
And so we got to do what we can. And win, lose, or draw, we have to say with our last breath, this isn't how it's meant to be. This isn't right.
Right, right. If there is anything that is giving me hope during this time, is that our communities really are speaking up and speaking out and fighting back. I really think that for the queer community, this is an act up moment. We have to do something, and a lot of people are. They're stepping up and speaking out, and they're saying, you know what, I'll see you in court.
Yes.
This is not going to happen. There's protests all over the place. Yeah, they may try and shut down the protests, but guess what? It ain't going to happen. It just is not going to happen. People recognize this for what it is. They're trying to put us down, put us aside. This is our act up moment.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it happen.
Yes. We protested for AIDS funding. We sued for marriage equality.
Right.
We resisted police overreach at Stonewall. We started our own churches when churches wouldn't have us. So we've been fighting this fight for a while. We've been fighting this fight for a while, and we know how to do this.
Yes, we do.
And or at least those of us of a certain age know how to do it. Younger kids.
Oh, we'll share that information.
We will teach.
We will share that.
Pay attention, follow our lead, because one day the bursitis isn't going to let us show up at the march, and we're going to need you to take over.
My knee hurts today.
But no, we've been here. We've been doing this, and before that, before we were organized, every one of us had to face asshole uncles, or abusive dads, or mean cousins, or schoolyard bullies, or evil teachers. We've been doing this since birth.
Yeah.
So we're tired of it, but
but
we got the playbook.
Yeah, we're not giving up.
We know how it's done.
Damn Skippy.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful travel experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida AIDS Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra-deluxe 170,000-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025. The cruise is for the Florida AIDS Walk. Your participation helps 13 vital beneficiaries in our community. The cruise is an incredible value starting at just $199 and is also a fundraiser for the Sunshine Cathedral. Parties, special events, and more aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun. This vital cruise for good.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that. We all are in this together.
Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.
Bye.